and I'll think about the categories as we're talking.
For my bunch, vocabulary, you've got.
Did you see?
It's not even vocabulary that goes along with this.
But
it's
there's
just
a, like,
vocabulary.
on the Go Math Note, we've got our classes set up, there's actually a vocabulary practice
There is, yeah.
that they can
Online.
do online, at home, or at school, you know, is one of your centers.
To sign it?
Yes.
And in doing the daily math with them, I'm really trying to emphasize vocabulary.
We found that
with
that's the difference between some of these kids making connections and not is, you know, you can't do a word problem if you don't know that annual means yearly.
Right.
And average means that they're saying that every year you can expect this.
Right.
I had kids that we were working on, the point of the problem was to write down 7 times 2. And we couldn't get past the vocabulary of the problem. So just that daily use of vocabulary, even in reading groups, is gonna help these kids to make connections with these math problems. And
Because they truly can't understand what they're doing until they can work a problem with the vocabulary. You know, they may be able to do 7 times 3, but if they can't look at a word problem and understand that's what's being asked of them and why that's being asked, they can't truly
Right.
understand the true definition of what multiplication is.
I was gonna say, it sounds like we have a lot of good memorization tools that we can use. We've got the multiplication facts in 7 days, we've got the lower level math 24 game, we've got the
Online component.
the online component of Go Math. We have also, if you remember when we went and looked at the suggested pacing guide, there were also the fluency facts, and that was that big packet full of
Yes.
fact sheets that I think we've all got a copy of, that you could run off for kids that are struggling with certain facts.
But I think that we should also.
I also think it's good for any level,
Oh, yeah.
because they can see their growth as they're going through it.
Absolutely, and something to come back even after we're out of Unit 1 is to come back and do these periodically to remind them that these facts are still important. Just because we're not specifically using them in the next unit doesn't mean that we can forget them.
Right, well, that's what I was gonna say, I think it would, even once we get finished with the multiplication in 7 days, that we should still try to, once a week, once every other week, give them one of those assessments.
Should we do it as a center?
I pulled,
I think so.
from our Go Math resource, I pulled some of the games and centers that have.
Oh, from
to
the
do
grab and
with-
go.
From the grab
Right,
and go.
and they have.
Yes,
for
and
all.
some of them also are geometry and measurement, which reinforce our school math goal
So
of
they've got the
improving their
connections,
measurement.
right.
So there is a line 'em up game which deals with money, and measurement and multiplication.
Do you happen to have blue
Um,
card 15 there? Just
The blue one, 15? No. But I have, then these are this was Skip Count Mountain, and these are the games, 2-player. And there are some division there for those that are ready, you know, to tic-tac-toe 6 times, multiplication dash, and this story time. And a lot of these are multiplication. And then there are several games also that are number cube products, guess my numbers, multiplication bingo, multiplication relay, and rolling figures. So there are quite a few things in that resource that we can use as centers, and there are several of the readers that also deal with multiplication. The party plans, collection times 4, Corey's cookie caper, and here's what I do. These all
The other things that we talked about coming into this was talking about specifically within the lessons and in the worksheet pages where the different activities, for example, if you're not assigning all the problems, what you want to look for specifically when you're assigning work off of the worksheet pages. And so the math talks were one thing that I think we all found were really beneficial.
Exactly.
procedures with connections.
Right.
Especially for some of them that aren't quite there on the concept and are talking with so many others, and the the justification for the answers,
Right.
get the others thinking. And that's, again, on all levels, they need to hear that conversation.
Well, and I was going back through, because I've been, the fluency papers, I was using some of those in conjunction with the multiplication facts in 7 days, and I had skipped right over the beginning part that has a whole section of math talks on the different multiplication facts. Mental subtraction, group counting, counting by sevens, multiplying with twos, developing sixes, and it actually has the math talks, and it looks like the same ones that were in the Engage New York, that they basically copied and pasted right out of Engage New York, but brought those in to be a thing then that if you had 5 minutes, you could go back through and, hey, let's talk about our sixes and make it a routine. So I thought that was gonna be something I would start to integrate into that beginning time when, right before the morning announcements, while there's a little bit of dead time in there, that we might start doing.
While we're looking for that, I just wanna add into how important I think that math talk is as instruction support, because everybody can have an entry
Oh,
point to
right,
that
on the
math talk.
worksheets, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
even if, I only have my basic ideas, everybody has something to, everybody has a method, everybody has something that they can contribute.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
really, I think it's really important.
Yeah, and my
because
quick
it's an opportunity
finishers
for everybody.
like to go there, and then they're like, come over here, I wanna tell you what I think about this, and so that's been fun, because it encourages some of my slower workers, the ones that know it, but they are procrastinating, to finish faster, because they wanna know what we're talking about over here on the side
It also
with those
gives them a
math
chance
talks,
to
yeah.
use the vocabulary.
Yes, and I prompt them with vocab when the thingy and the stuff, and I'm like,
Yep.
what are the words that we're using?
And I think Becky right here,
The ELL strategy, I was looked at that a lot this weekend in the different lessons.
Right.
You don't have to be ELL to use the ELL
To use
strategy.
the ELL strategy.
And it's simple, straightforward. So I wanna put that somewhere on our,
And so would
box.
you, well, and I was looking to think about where you would, because it's not really memorization,
no, we're making connections, because they're having to make the.
but it's a procedure with connections then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's connecting the vocabulary back to what you're actually talking about, it's and making connections and real world connections as well, like
Yeah.
being able to use the vocabulary.
And
I
we
have
need
two
to,
ELL students, but
Right.
that's
they
true.
don't have to have something different. I mean, everyone else can benefit from the same ELL. Simple explanation.
A lot of the
Actually,
same-
yeah, I
well,
could
a lot
see
of
it
those
helping,
kids-
actually.
Yeah, very helpful.
A lot of those kids have the same issues.
Mhm.
Your lower end kids have vocabulary problems where that's the problem that you have with your ELL
Yeah.
kids is they have vocabulary.
Well, and even the higher level math, computational higher level students who, yes, if you put any math problem in front of them, they can do it. But when it involves vocabulary, then you see why, okay, they're in a high math group, but they're in a low reading group, because they don't have that comprehension.
I looked down and saw this. My kids have trouble, a lot of trouble with these go deeper problems. And a lot of it is not that they can't do the math, that it's the wording that the questions, the way that they're worded, they don't understand what they're talking about. It's like, in exercise 20, or go back and look at exercise 22 and 23 and use that to apply da. And I'm going, the kids are first like going, hold up, what is exercise 22 and 23?
Yeah.
And so I'm having to go back. Yes. So I'm having to go back and explain just the wording of the problem.
Right.
Because once I explain it to them, like it's saying in problem 22 and 23, what did you do here that would go with it? That's all
So
they're
that's
asking
at
me.
least the third time we've come back to vocabulary, that is not
Yes,
even really
yes.
math vocabulary.
Right.
It's living
But it's also
daily
just,
vocabulary.
And
but
it'll
it's
be
not even
interesting.
vocabulary, it's the way things are worded, because they truly honestly understand the vocabulary that's in the problem. They
Right.
don't understand in the
vocabulary,
format.
yeah,
there
that
we go.
it's the
But
format
it'll
is
be
the
interesting to see if the second graders that are gonna come up to us next
Find
year
it easier.
will find those sorts of things less troublesome, because they're being exposed to that already, and that's where having a cohesive text across the grade levels is gonna benefit us much faster.
Right.
Where some of the standards narrower and deeper may still be problematic, you know, with teaching them. I think that when they learn how to use Go Math, then next year when they see Go Math, we already know what this looks like, and we're gonna be able to dive into the math more than the instructions.
Format,
Yes.
But with those go deeper problems, you are asking them to make connections to the other things, which is
Yes.
essential. And doing a two-step problem, yeah, some of them just, you know, they wanna do the shortcut, but then when you have your math talks about it, it comes out and,
It seemed like
oh,
this one,
didn't think that way.